Story 1. Definitely. Lemon cod, mushrooms, pepper, onion, garlic, and tomato all wrapped in foil on the barbecue with some tender stem broccoli and couscous. Food so nice they named it twice. Story 2. I had a breakfast burrito. I asked for no bacon, but they gave me bacon. I will survive, but I will be annoyed every time I eat. Story 3. A slice of cheese and some dill pickle chips. If I survive, I am sure my health will be quite poor. Story 4. Banana. My potassium and fiber intake will be very high. Protein, fats, vitamins, and other nutrients will be severely lacking. I will probably develop diarrhea because of this and die a week later in my own yellow-green banana mush. Story 5. Lucky me. Pulled pork, smoked brisket, cornbread, and a side of green beans. Estimated time of arrival, and a perfectly ripe peach for dessert. Story 6. Turkey and Swiss on wheat with mustard, sweet dill pickles, and sprouts. Handful of raspberries and handful of snap peas. I would be bored for the rest of my life, but good. Story 7. Vegetable lasagna, bruschetta with tomato and mozzarella, stracchino on bread, bean soup, and wine. I will be fine. Story 8. Arby's sugar bacon combo with vanilla milkshake 2. Might still die before someone with nothing. Story 9. Ethiopian vegetable sampler. Red lentil, collard greens, zucchini, cabbage, and potato options. Served on injera, of course. I would be hard-pressed to have a more balanced forever meal as a vegetarian. Although I would have chosen one more legume instead of zucchini, it still provides enough protein and variety. The iced hibiscus pineapple tea adds a fun touch. The only downside is the lack of chewy or crunchy texture, but I am thriving at least. Story 10. It was a salad with lettuce and radishes from my garden, Kalamata olives, tuna, Asiago cheese, sunflower seeds, snap peas, and green pepper. Story 11. Well, I am going to survive, but it is going to be bland. Plain cheeseburger and medium fries from Whataburger since I was driving and was trying to keep the mess to a minimum. Story 12. A bowl of udon noodles with a side of string cheese, 2 Reese's peanut butter cups, and Coke to drink. I am very okay with this meal. I already eat it almost every day anyway, minus the Reese's peanut butter cups. I will just have to exercise a bit more and drink more water. I will survive. Story 13. Oh dear, I had plain rice porridge with small vegetables and a hard-boiled egg. I will survive, just no more heavy labor. Story 14. A wrap with grilled chicken, lettuce and red cabbage, some spicy pickles, and a yogurt parfait with fresh berries. I will not only survive, I will be healthy. Story 15. The biggest, tastiest, most filling quesadilla I have ever had in my life. I will be just fine and very happy. Story 16. Roast lamb shoulder, mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, broccolini, peas, Yorkshire pudding, and gravy. I might be okay. Story 17. Half a McDonald's breakfast wrap. I am going to be the size of a house by October. I only ate half because they always look and sound so good. But the reality is that after a couple of bites, they taste like greasy sugared cardboard. Story 18. Beef burger with cheese and bacon, served with fries covered in cheese, topped with barbecue sauce and pepperoni. I am delicious. Story 19. Tomato and basil soup with chopped sliced ham, wheaten bread with apricot jam, and a cup of tea. I think I will survive for a while. Story 20. Popeye's 5-piece with red beans and rice, fries, and biscuits. No, I will not be around for much longer, but it will be delicious. Story 21. Chicken breast with chimichurri sauce, turmeric rice, and mixed vegetables. Delicious and healthy. I am going to make it. Story 22. Tortellini in marinara sauce. Large mixed green salad on the side with slices of cucumber dressed in a simple vinaigrette. 5 dark chocolate-covered almonds for dessert. If I have to face all eternity with the same meal on repeat, I am grateful it includes a bit of dark chocolate. Story 23. Absolutely. 3 ounces extra lean ground beef, half a cup rice, 2 cups lettuce, 2 mini cucumbers with some dressing, and half a tablespoon of feta cheese. Maybe I will reach my fitness goals faster if I did not have access to free will and dark chocolate. Story 24. Tenderloin steak with onions and mushrooms, tater tots, prosciutto-wrapped asparagus, finished off with key lime pie and a nice cup of tea. I'll do just fine. Story 25. I lucked out. Tonight's dinner was leftover smoked pulled pork barbecue sandwiches, baked beans, potato salad, and coleslaw. 24 hours ago, it would have been the same, plus some smoked pork belly burnt ends and s'mores made with Reese's cups. So, it is probably better for my cholesterol to go with tonight's leftovers. Story 26. Chipotle burrito bowl with barbacoa, white rice, cheese sauce, fajita vegetables, fresh and hot salsa, corn salsa, cheese, lettuce, and guacamole. Served with sweet tea and chips. Not too shabby. Mostly sustainable. Story 27. Oh, it was my birthday today and we ordered some pretty good Indian curries. From sweet to spicy with prawn, lamb, and chicken. We had rice, some red onion slices, and 2 types of naan. A sweet one and a garlicky one. It was paired with a very nice sweet white wine. I am going to be a very happy drunk woman. Story 28. A healthy choice beef teriyaki frozen meal. I guess I would survive because there is protein, vegetables, and carbohydrates, but I am not sure I would want to. Story 29. 15-bean soup with barley, potatoes, carrots, broccoli, spinach, tomato, red cabbage, onion, garlic, spices, herbs, and a small amount of chicken thigh meat added just in case the vegetarians are wrong. Story 30. Man, if I could eat vegetable soup for the rest of my life, I would be thriving so much. But no, it was just a moment of healthiness between back-to-back coffees, and now I am waiting for Biscoff cookie pie. Story 31. A new family favorite. Sloppy Joe-style Philly cheesesteak with caramelized red, yellow, and green peppers and onions, Parmesan and mozzarella cheese, Southern pit barbecue baked beans, and garden-fresh corn on the cob. I must say, I love this recipe. Story 32. Hash browns, bacon, and biscuits, which on paper are amazing, but I would probably get heart disease very quickly and also be constipated constantly. Story 33. Same thing I eat for lunch every weekday. Meat and cheese sandwich on rye bread, grapes, chips, and a snack bar. I will survive. Story 34. A high-protein meal replacement shake is fine. It is basically a multivitamin as well. It might be very boring. Story 35. Some leftover vegetable chow mein and Mongolian beef. My colon will be fine, but I will definitely have a heart attack by 40. Story 36. Tuna melt, dill pickle spear, handful of Pringles, and an energy drink. 2 hours later, I had a mini ice cream sandwich for dessert. Honestly, it could be worse. Story 37. Brisket nachos with grilled onions and peppers, refried beans, sour cream, and cheese. You could do a lot worse for forever meals in terms of flavor and nutrition. Story 38. Microwave gluten-free chicken, bean and cheese burrito, fig bar, banana, and water. Probably be fine but would miss vegetables and ice cream. Story 39. Actual meal versus snack or biscuits for breakfast. No, I am somewhat allergic to them and only eat them every few months. Story 40. Surviving? Yes. Enjoying? No. It was a meal replacement shake. They even taste pretty good for what they are. But that is going to get really tiring. Story 41. Baby back barbecue pork ribs, baked potatoes with butter, taco salad, and a nice New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I will be okay. Story 42. I would love to say I had the same thing that Homer Simpson wished for with his monkey paw, a turkey sandwich, but I actually had a sandwich with turkey, rotisserie-flavored chicken, Swiss cheese, cheddar cheese, mayonnaise, some chicken fingers dipping sauce with onion dip and sour cream, and cheddar Ruffles chips with a handful of cherries. So yeah, I'm probably good. Story 43. Turkey, ham, roast beef, and Swiss cheese on ciabatta. Fruit, a pickle, Ruffles chips, water, and cookie. I think I will be all right. Story 44. Bacon quarter pounder with a Coca-Cola, and they actually salted the fries this time. I'm okay with that for the rest of my life. Story 45. I made my own creation. A soup stew with rotisserie chicken, chicken sausage, beef sausage, bell pepper, onion, green chilies, zucchini, cilantro, enchilada sauce, chicken bone broth, and various seasonings. It is eaten with jasmine rice. I can definitely live off this for the rest of my life. I already make this as part of my meal preparation plan. Story 46. Pizza. Bonus. It was the first time using my new pizza stone, so it was lovely and crispy. Not the healthiest choice, though. Story 47. I had a cheeseburger in a lettuce wrap with a Coca-Cola Zero. I guess I would survive, but I need to manage my fat intake. Story 48. Thanking my past self for making that delicious farro and chickpea salad with artichokes, feta, olives, and beets yesterday, topped with crunchy baby green leaf today. Peach for dessert. I would probably be upset if I had not packed a piece of candy, but I will survive and be quite healthy. Story 49. Oh no. I had fried oysters, French fries, and hush puppies. I would gain a lot of weight and would not be feeling well at all. Story 50. I had a disgusting burger from Disney World. They tried to be creative with the Frankenstein theme, but it was a hard pass. I would not survive. Story 51. A sandwich on an onion bun with a slice of provolone cheese, chicken, olive loaf, tomato, and pickle, with mustard and mayonnaise. Not bad, but I will probably need more fruit and vegetables. Story 52. Pasta with tomato sauce mixed with Greek yogurt and shredded carrots. I think I would be okay. It had vegetables, fruit, carbohydrates, fat, protein, and fiber. Story 53. I am waiting for DoorDash even as we speak. I will be eating tacos for the rest of my life. I can live with that. Story 54. A questionable gas station burrito. I am either about to achieve immortality or I have 3 days to live. Honestly, I am okay with either outcome. Story 55. Bananas for breakfast could possibly be eaten, but they may cause severe constipation. Story 56. A cheese, lettuce, and tomato sandwich on a freshly made hamburger bun. I do not want to be eating lavishly, but I am good with it. Story 57. Rib eye steak and mashed potatoes. I think I will be all right. Edit. After reading some other responses, I had not considered scurvy. Story 58. I'm in trouble. If it is lunch, then it is really terrible noodle stir-fry that I didn't realize was vegan. If it is what I have eaten most recently, it is off-brand Pringles, a health bar, and Diet Coke. I am trying to stave off a migraine for another hour. Story 59. Cheese and gigantic pink tomato sandwich. Sounds about right if the tomato will always be this ripe. Story 60. It was a protein shake, protein bar, and a can of tuna. I will survive and I will lose weight quickly, but that is unfortunate. Story 61. A little box of post-procedure hospital snacks. Graham crackers, cheese, saltines, peanut butter, and juice. I will survive but not happily. Story 62. Smoothie with strawberry, banana, mango, blueberry, peanut butter, spinach, almond milk, and benefiber. I will live and have regular digestion. Story 63. Midwestern casserole is a tradition in my family. It consists of ground beef, corn, green beans, rice, tomato sauce, and herbs. The vegetables go on top of the rice, sauce, and beef mixture and are baked in the oven. It is really good and can last up to a week. I think I can live with it. Story 64. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But it was sugar-free jelly, on high-fiber ketogenic bread from Aldi. I am going to have digestive discomfort. Story 65. Burnt rissoles, overcooked cauliflower, leeks, and snow peas with white sauce. I would survive but would not be happy about it. Story 66. Kiev stuffed chicken breasts, roasted potatoes and onions with a creamy mustard sauce and broccoli. I would be okay. Story 67. Chinese barbecued pork with rice and cabbage. It is not the healthiest food in the world and is nutritionally limited, so I could probably add condiments or other vegetables. Story 68. Lucky me that I went healthy for lunch this week. turkey sandwich on wheat bread with avocado spread and Colby Jack cheese, string cheese, cantaloupe, honeydew, red grapes, bagged romaine salad with ranch, and a yogurt with a diet cherry Pepsi drink. I left my chips at home by accident. Story 69, Burrito Bowl. Includes all the major food groups: dairy, cheese and sour cream, protein, chicken and beans, vegetables, salsa and lettuce, and grains, cilantro rice. This meal is satisfying and balanced. Story 70. Potatoes with garlic salt and oil baked, garlic green beans fried, and cheddar pork meatballs baked with potatoes, served with blueberry barbecue sauce, took me about 30 minutes to cook from scratch, and it was very tasty. I have leftovers. I gave my dog a husky mix, a meatball. She is a very good girl. She helped by supervising and became more excited as everything cooked. In my house, there is no 5 or 10-second rule. The dog gets the food well before that. Story 71. Chicken nuggets and tater tots baked in the oven. Ketchup and barbecue sauce with a glass of lactose-free milk. Nutty Buddy for dessert. I'll make it for a while. Story 72. Chicken burrito with rice, black beans, cheese, pico de gallo, lettuce, and onions. Mild green sauce and habaneros. Not only am I surviving, I will be thriving and potentially passing gas. Story 73. Homemade enchiladas. This dish includes tortilla, chicken, onions, peppers, cheese, and enchilada sauce. It is a well-rounded combination of protein, fat, carbohydrates, and various food groups, so I believe it is a balanced meal. Story 74. Had a weird girl lunch where I just walked around the kitchen grazing for a while. Apple 85 grams cold Brussels sprouts, cold leftover eggs, 21 grams cheese, 3 crackers, an entire long English cucumber, and my vitamins. I don't think I'll be very happy, especially because I don't actually like Brussels sprouts, but I guess I'll survive. Story 75. Just some Barilla thin spaghetti with grated Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano cheese from a jar. I could be very happy with just that. Story 76. I had seafood paella, a salad, a small piece of tres leches cake, and a small brownie. Pretty well rounded, actually. I will be fine and my health should probably improve. Story 77. Pork carnitas with onions, cilantro, avocado, salsa verde, and lime juice. The carnitas will probably eventually kill me, but there are worse ways to die. Story 78. Shepherd's pie with broccoli on the side. I am all right with this and think I will survive quite a long time on it. Story 79. Apricot chicken drumsticks and rice. Honestly, I could live with that. Not necessarily the healthiest meal, but also not as bad as it could have been. Story 80. Nope. The last meal was 2 rice cakes. To be generous, I'll count the meal before that. 2 hard-boiled eggs and 2 rice cakes. I am not long for the world. Story 81. I had a bowl of white rice mixed with vegetables and some leftover pork. I think I will be all right for a while. Story 82. Burrito. It had steak, shrimp, cheese, sour cream, tomatoes, peppers, rice, and avocado. So I am probably okay. Story 83. Pop-Tarts for breakfast. I give it 3 to 4 months before my skin is ruined. My backside needs its own zip code, and I am in a diabetic coma. Story 84. Not happily. Canned tuna salad from Mexico on white bread. The tuna salad had peas in it. Did not like it. Story 85. I ate a giant salad with chicken, corn, carrots, cheese, tomatoes, and avocado. Not only am I surviving, I am losing weight. Story 86. My sodium might be out of control, but I could survive. I ate ramen with meatballs and steamed vegetables mixed in. Story 87. Mixed greens, carrots, peppers, cubed tomatoes, turkey, provolone, croutons, homemade Italian dressing. Boiled some eggs, but they weren't ready before I was. Common dinner for us, probably 1/3 of dinners, so we would survive, but it is kind of boring. Whiskey salad with ice cubes for dessert. Story 88. Either it is vegetable soup I ate last night, beans, corn, noodles, carrots, onions, hamburger in a tomato base, or the food I am about to eat, rice-a-roni fried rice, chicken, and mixed vegetables. Yes, I know that is probably close to 24 hours difference. I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, so I forget. Story 89. I had bratwurst on macaroni and cheese with grilled onions and sweet peppers and a drizzle of barbecue sauce. It was delicious. I am pretty sure that covers all the major food groups, so I should be fine. Story 90. Beef tacos with spinach, tortillas, cheese, light sour cream, and spices in the beef. I think I would survive for a while, but I don't think I would feel well. This is a meal I only have every few months. I can't eat like that all the time. Story 91. Does the tablespoon of purple yam jam I just ate count as a meal? If so, I will not last long, but I will die happy. If it is the last proper meal I ate, I will probably be fine but bored. Turkey sandwich on whole grain bread with tomato and lettuce. Story 92. Chana masala, aloo gobi, sag bhaji, Greek yogurt, and basmati rice. I am surviving, but my system may not be happy with me in the long term. Story 93. A bowl of chopped spinach with Caesar dressing and accidentally too much lemon juice? Absolutely not. Also, my teeth would dissolve after a few meals. Total miss. My stomach felt bad after eating pizza, and spinach usually helps. It did this time too, but I will not be preparing it like that ever again. Story 94. A big handful of garlic salted pretzel sticks. I think I'll be good, but God save anyone who wants to try to kiss me. Story 95. It was a pork belly, mushroom and cabbage stir-fry with brown rice. Lots of sweet soy sauce and other seasonings. Very tasty, fairly nutritious, and somewhat gassy. Story 96. Meal. Trader Joe's elote salad with a frozen bean, cheese, and rice burrito. I am definitely surviving, but I will get bored. Story 97. Yes, but not thriving. I had a sandwich with buffalo chicken, mayonnaise, and cheddar on rosemary sourdough. It is tasty, but there is not a fruit or vegetable to be found. Story 98. Salmon avocado roll and a few pieces of salmon nigiri. I love it, but I wonder how long I would be able to keep eating just that. Story 99. Chicken, orzo, feta, Kalamata olives, spinach, tomato, garlic, and a mix of seasonings. I think I have a lot of decent aspects covered, but I could use more vegetables. Story 100. Homemade salmon rice bowls. Pretty healthy with lots of vegetables, making it a balanced meal. I'd be fine. Story 101. If you needed dinner ideas, you just could have asked. I made some fried pork belly bites for lunch. Story 102. No. My daughter and I had a Costco hot dog. Now, if we count a full meal, then probably. I made deconstructed chicken Kiev, mashed potatoes, and asparagus last night for dinner. Story 103. New York steak cooked medium rare, steamed wild rice, and cooked baby carrots. Baguette bread and unsalted butter. A wonderful Father's Day meal. Story 104. Overnight oats. I am surviving but definitely not thriving. Not having hot meals anymore would affect me faster than malnutrition for sure. Story 105. Turkey tetrazzini. I may survive, but I will not want to. There is too much dairy for my stomach to handle for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Story 106. Olives, bread, and cheese total girl dinner. I am apparently eating like ancient Greek royalty. I will not live long, but I will be fat and happy on the way out. Story 107. Dinner. 3 soft-boiled eggs, avocado and cottage cheese, roast with a side of Greek yogurt and berries. I am surviving. Story 108. Just had dinner, which was unusually hearty. I usually have a light dinner, but for the hypothetical purpose of this thread, I'm glad it wasn't because I'm definitely surviving. 2 glasses of tap water, a can of delicious Dr. Pepper raisin-flavored soda, and a mug of lemon, honey, and ginger, not tea. Just those 3 things in boiling water. Homemade curry with fresh vegetables from the garden, beans, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, lentils, corn mushroom protein, heaped on a mountain of basmati rice with some tadik for texture and a generously buttered naan on the side. The curry was a bit watery but perfectly spiced. Honestly, I'd be better off this way than I intend to live. The freedom to eat other foods will likely result in a shorter life for me than if I adhered to the original poster's thought experiment. Edit. And 3 cola-flavored Mound bonbons. Dessert counts as the same meal, right? Yes, it does because I said so. Story 109. Breakfast sandwiches. Good thing I love them. I think I can survive on that. After all, I survived my last semester of college on microwaved breakfast sandwiches, ramen, and energy drinks. Story 110. One of those frozen lunches. It was the corn, pepper, chicken, and potato with barbecue sauce, so I will probably get scurvy. Story 111. Meal or snack? Meal? On Father's Day, we grilled pork ribs, beef ribs, shrimp, steak, hot dogs, elote, corn on the cob prepared by my older brother, salad, mac and cheese, and barbecue chicken. It sounds like I covered all my bases pretty thoroughly. Lucky day for me with lots of options. Food groups were covered decently, even if romaine lettuce isn't the best vegetable for nutrition. Snack? Mixed berries with cream and sugar. I'll be happy loving every meal. Sadly, everyone else will suffer because at some point the highly toxic gas that leaves my body will affect everyone in the room, myself included. I think only eating fruit makes you smell really bad too, if I recall from reading about Steve Jobs. Story 112. A large salad with grilled chicken, Kalamata olives, a sliced piece of Gouda cheese, and homemade blue cheese dressing. Story 113. Sautéed cabbage, urban chicken, very similar to teriyaki, and semi-crunchy potato wedges. Also, a couple of vegetable rolls. I might get tired of it quickly, but I am not going to die. If I get tired of it enough, I might even lose weight. I will stay regular while I'm at it. Story 114. Steak burrito. Rice, lettuce, a variety of beans, corn, tortilla shell, lean steak, side of hot sauce. I think there was a bit of dairy inside with some cheese sauce and sour cream. I would say this one is a jackpot. Story 115. What if my last meal was leftovers? Because then you would have to cook a fresh meal to be able to eat leftovers again. Or does that mean I would die when it ran out? Story 116. Turkey Club. Toast, turkey off the bone, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and a glass of milk. Probably could have done a whole lot worse than that. Story 117. I got a burrito from Chipotle. I think I could eat a burrito a day. One of them is about 1,700 calories. I get the shredded cheese, but I do not get the queso, which is probably the most unhealthy of the ingredients. Story 118. Lentil salad with carrot, onion, bell pepper, and parsley. I will be healthy but very bored. I have been eating this for lunch for a week and I am already tired of it. Story 119. Charcuterie. Pretty happy because it covers all the major food groups, though it is a little heavy on the dairy and processed meats. Story 120. I would live, but I would not be happy. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich on whole wheat bread, plain Greek yogurt with a touch of honey, a glass of milk, and a fresh nectarine. I did enjoy all those things for lunch, but I would miss hot food. Story 121. Subway steak and cheese flatbread footlong, bag of salt and vinegar chips, cup of broccoli cheddar soup, and 3 cookies. Plus a Gatorade. I think I would be fine. Story 122. Smoothie made with a protein shake, kefir, blueberries, raspberries, pineapple, and cherries. I don't know how happy my bowels would be in the long run because it has a lot of fruit, but it contains vitamins, protein, probiotics, and fiber, so I could do worse. It is miserable in the winter when you want something warm. Story 123. Shepherd's pie made with chicken instead of beef. String beans, carrots, chicken, and mashed potatoes. I usually drink milk with dinner. Story 124. Sliced chicken cold cuts sandwich with some vegetables and cheese on it. Too bad I didn't put tomato on it too. I'm going to need a multivitamin to stay marginally healthy. Those cold cuts have enough salt in them. I might be in trouble. Story 125. The last meal I ate was Chipotle. And I am 100% sure I could survive forever on that, although my body would probably be craving some fruit. Story 126. My oldest made some homemade wonton soup yesterday. I saved the leftover broth and added some cooked chicken for my lunch, so it was basically chicken soup. It was probably fairly high in sodium, so I wouldn't eat it often, but it was delicious. Story 127. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich with mayonnaise on homemade bread with carrots and beets. I feel like this would be like winning the lottery in this scenario. Healthy, tasty, and even has bacon. Story 128. Chicken and chickpea curry with spices, garlic, ginger, onions, tomatoes, spinach, jasmine rice, and mango chutney. I will be just fine. Story 129. I can survive on tacos for the rest of my life. At least my version of tacos. I like to load them with meat, vegetables such as lettuce and onion, sometimes avocado and diced tomatoes too, salsa verde, all on top of corn tortillas. I don't think I will ever get sick of it. Story 130. For lunch, I had some plain 5% fat Greek yogurt with a mandarin orange cup mixed in and a nice granola sprinkled on top. I could probably live on it for a while, but I would be looking for other options pretty quickly. Story 131. A Subway sandwich and a bottle of Gatorade. Not bad by my standards. I swear I am half raccoon with the amount of trash I eat. Story 132. Egg white omelet with lots of fresh vegetables. Onion, zucchini, yellow squash, tomatoes, and avocado. Topped with a little cheese, served with fresh strawberries and blueberries. I think I'm going to live. Story 133. Leftover Father's Day. Fried chicken breast, sautéed watercress, noodles, sliced garden tomatoes, and homemade strawberry horchata. I think I would do great. Story 134. I think I would be okay. Bagel with mayonnaise, cheese, and egg scramble with spinach and cabbage. Kimchi and grapefruit slices on the side. Story 135. Basmati rice with steamed broccoli, hard-boiled egg, and butter. I'll be all right, I guess. Not exciting, but okay. Story 136. Butter-basted roast chicken, salad, popovers, roasted carrots and potatoes with pan au jus. I think I will make it somehow. Story 137. Fry up, sort of. Sausages, black pudding and white pudding, fried eggs, and baby potatoes that were boiled, crushed, and crisped up in the oven with some seasoning. Not a proper fry up because I didn't have the rashers, and the potatoes replaced the toast. But you're allowed to make adjustments when it's a fry up for dinner rather than breakfast. And no, I'd be sick as a dog even eating this 2 days in a row. Too much meat, grease, and fat. I only do it for dinner sometimes because I'm the owner of 2 bottomless pits of teenagers, so a plate full of protein and carbohydrates is necessary sometimes. Story 138. Depends on how specific you want to get. The last thing I ate was a root vegetable and sausage stew. If it is just stew, I could last for a while. If it is specifically that stew, I would still last a decent while, but a lack of greens might cause an issue. Story 139. A large bowl of mixed fruit and a sandwich with cheese, pickles, tomatoes, and mayonnaise. I would survive for a while. Story 140. I made chicken salad with poached chicken, apple, celery, onion, mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and cottage cheese. I ate it on 2 slices of store-bought wheat bread, had a side of ketchup-flavored chips, and a mojito LaCroix. Surprisingly, yes, I think I would love it for a while at least. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.